Hey guys, welcome to another House of Wisdom lightest and best knife video. And I'm so darned excited about this knife, I'm tingly all over. This is the latest collaborative effort between the A2 guys, Andre von Heerden and Andre Thorburn. Yes, that doppelganger of knife excellence. And formerly, their lightest knife was the A5, which is a diminutive version of the A3, and it came in at 2.8 ounces. They've made an even lighter knife in the carbon fiber. The A6 Mini only weighs 2.4 ounces, and it is a super knife. Well, let's get into the background of this. The A2 knives is a collaborative effort between Andre Thorburn and Andre von Heerden. Together they make around 200 knives annually under the A2 brand. They met in 2002 whenever Andre von Heerden went to a knife-making seminar put on by Andre Thorburn. They realized that they lived just around the block from each other, and with time and conversation they became good friends. And they decided to make knives together. Andre von Heerden makes the handles and frames, and Andre Thorburn makes the blades, places the IKBS bearing system, and does the final assembly. Andre Thorburn is a full-time knife maker, and the A2 segment represents only around 40% of all the knives he makes in a given year. Andre von Heerden makes knives part-time, and it's around 85% of his knife-making efforts. His full-time job is in the IT industry in South Africa. There's another person involved in the manufacture, or at least the design of the knife, which is Tashi Barusha, another one of my favorite knife guys. And as you can tell, it has some of the Tashi Barusha design language. Here is the Rowdy by Tashi Barusha, made by Jerry McGinnis. And you can tell by the handle where it has the cutout for the two forefingers, and then another cutout for the remaining two, and then the curved handle. You can tell the similarities. And the main thing that's distinctive, I think, of the Tashi Barusha knife is the relative oversized blade in comparison to the handles. So you see the design language of Tashi Barusha coming through on this knife. He designed the A6, and this is just a scaled-down version of the A6. The two Andres, von Heerden and Thorburn, visit the United States around 3 times yearly for knife shows, and they buy much of their materials they use to make knives here in the United States. They make 2 knives with sub 3-inch blades, as I've mentioned, the A5, which weighs 2.8 ounces, and then now the A6 Mini. The A5 is a diminutive form of the A3. They chose to use a different number for some reason or another. On the A6, instead of getting another number, they just wanted to call it the A6 Mini. So, oh well, whatever. So we'll talk about the specifications. The blade length on the A6 Mini is 2.75 inches. The handle length is 3.875 inches, yielding a total overall knife length of 6.625 inches. The weight, as I've mentioned, is 2.4 ounces. We'll do some size comparisons. First, apples to apples, we'll get the A squared A5. The A squared A5 is just a little larger. It's 1/8 of an inch longer in total length. And we have the Hinder XM18, which is a larger knife. The Strider PT, which is around the same size of knife. And the Benchmade Mini Griptilian, which is a little longer knife than the A6 Mini. The blade of the A6 Mini is made of RWL34 in a drop point configuration or a spear point. It is a drop point, but the pronounced swedging makes it look a little like a spear point also, and it has a hollow ground primary grind. The grind and the swedging have a hand-rubbed satin finish, and the flats are polished. The jimping on the knife is typical of the A2. It's little squares that go in. When you rub your finger over it, it's smooth as can be until you bear down, and then it grips back on you. And I'll give you an example of the A5 where those jimping are similar. I like the upwards swedging here. It just is a nice place, then your thumb fits in there just perfectly. The sharpening ricasso is perfectly placed just anterior to the plunge grind, so it maintains a nice thin edge all the way to the heel of the cutting edge. The method of deployment of the knife is by flipper, and true to all Thorburn Van Heerden knife, it has one of the most amazing flipping actions known to man. The return action just takes a little shake and it goes back nicely. Very smooth, very snappy detent on this knife. The handle on this particular knife is made of lightning strike carbon fiber. I'll let you get a glimpse of that. The liners are anodized titanium with a blue anodization. Beautiful, beautiful knife. The construction is a lightning strike carbon fiber back spacer that extends half the length of the knife, so it's easy to clean out relatively. The pivot is a Torx-Bic disassembly, and it has IKBS bearings. The lock has this blue anodized liner lock that doesn't have an insert, but really doesn't need one. It has no lock stick whatsoever. There's great lockup, and it adds to the aesthetics of the knife, I think. The pocket clip is a bent spring clip on a carbon fiber pillar, and it has a nice up ramp to get your jeans into. The clip basically works nicely. There are 5 holes also that just are for aesthetic appeal. The ergonomics of the knife are great for a small hand. You have the place where your first 2 finger goes and then your last 2 finger goes. But I have a small hand and it pretty much eats up the whole knife. The good thing is that if you like the form of the knife and the design of the knife and have a large hand, you can go to the regular A6 by A2. The action, as I've mentioned, is a very crisp detent and a smooth return action. The signage on the knife is minimal, just like I like it. On the show side, it has the A2 maker's mark, and on the clip side, it has the IKBS bearing system. The handle of the knife is sterile. What are my impressions of the knife? To say that I like this knife a lot is a huge understatement. I love this knife a lot, and I can't see any opportunities for improvement. The execution by the 2 Andres is excellent. The flipping action is excellent. It's small and light, and it uses high-quality materials. Titanium for the liner, lightning strike carbon fiber for the handle scales, and the RWL steel for the blade. Everything about this knife I love. I have nothing bad to say about it. And if you don't have a Thorburn Van Heerden A2 knife in your collection, and you like light knives and small knives, this might be the knife for you. Well, hope you enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you on the next House of Wisdom Lightest and Best Knife video.